Well, hey everyone, welcome back to the cabin. I thought I would demonstrate using this foot ad what my beams are actually going to look like when I get them done. This post is actually a cutoff from one of the pieces that I was using over there, and I thought, well, I would go ahead and use it to demonstrate what it was going to look like. But I think it's really going to look good once I get it done. This just barely fits on there, but I try to keep it on there to protect the blade so that nothing happens to it, hopefully. There we go. See that right there? That helps protect my blade. I also cut some of this handle off because I've been down here practicing. I probably cut about 5 inches off of it because it was actually digging in right here just a little bit too long. So by cutting it off, that makes it really comfortable. But yeah, this is really nice to have, and it's really going to make these posts look good. Now you can see behind me here, I removed all of the gravel. I don't know, I guess it was about 2 weeks ago. I'm still waiting on the excavator to get here. But they had a big job come up and they just absolutely had to do it. They've been waiting on it for a while. Some guy came in and said, you've got so many days to finish it. But I've got all the gravel that I could get scraped off. So now that big pile of topsoil I've got down there, what I'm going to do is we're going to scrape this off a little bit more. Then I'm going to start adding some topsoil in, and I'm going to slope it away from the cabin. My gutters will go on the end, and that'll catch the rain coming off the front and the back. When I can afford to do that, living on a fixed income, it's kind of difficult to do that because I'm pretty much down to big ticket items now, the power, the water, and things like that. But I think it's really going to look good once I get this done. The other thing is, I've got this little tiny house sold, I believe. So if I can get rid of that, not really sure if I'm going to put a one-car canopy basically there where I can park my truck under, or just leave that as yard, because at some point in time that woodshed right there is going to go. Whenever I get the new sawmill built down there, then I'm going to move all of the wood that I'm using up here into that building. I'm going to kind of redo it a little bit. I'll actually close off the front where I won't have the doors where I've been driving in, and I'll just have an access door maybe about 4 feet wide. That way I'll have plenty of room to get in and out, and may kind of turn 1/3 of it into like a storage shed. And then if this tiny house gets gone, like I said, I'll have this wood shed, and that area right there that I may just leave as yard. Not really sure yet. Kind of sometimes, you know, I think about something, I think I'm going to do that, and then other times I'm like, no, I don't think I will. So we'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, this area right here is ready to go as soon as the excavator gets here. I've got just enough topsoil I think left just to do this block area right here. Well, I think that you can see that I am down to the end now on the back side of the cabin, and all I have left to do is this far end here where my bedroom is at, which the upper section up there actually has that 4-foot door in it. So it's kind of like I've only got 1 2/3 left to go. I ran out of mortar before I could actually come around this corner right here, but I've been working a lot on the rock. What I would do, I've said this before, is I would get up in the morning time and I would actually mix up a couple of bags of mud. I would come out here and lay enough rock that would go about 3 foot, and I would get that laid, and then I would go down there and start working on the timber frame. So for the past, I think maybe 9 days, we haven't had any rain. So every day when I came out, every day I would mix that up and I would work my way down here. So this is about a 1.5 weeks worth of work, with the exception of Sunday, getting this back side done. I would imagine it'll probably take me maybe 6 or 7 days to finish this in right here, maybe not that long, and then all of the rocking will be done. So it's really not my most favorite thing to do, so I will certainly be glad when it's done. but I think I'm getting a little bit better at it because it's not taking me nearly as long to use up 2 bags of mud in the morning. But then I have to go let it dry, generally about maybe 3 hours, and then I can come back and rub it down and kind of finish it up. But yeah, I think it's going to not only help the cabin, but it's really going to look good once I get it done and I get it painted with that what they call, I guess, concrete sealer, because it makes it give that wet look, and it really makes it look good. I've still got to make the door for the fire pit right here that actually goes up to the smokehouse, and I'm going to have to connect the pipe to that. So that grill that I've got left, I'll have to take it apart and then take it up to my neighbor's house, and I don't know if we can heat it up and bend it out because there is a slight curve to it because it was actually a barrel type cooker. But I think we can manage to fix it to where I can use that door for this. The only thing is, like I said earlier, we got so many days of nice weather, I decided to go ahead and spend my time rocking and trying to get as much of that done as possible, because the cabin has actually stood for about 3 years now. So it's time that that got sewed up, and I've still probably got, I don't know, 6 weeks, 8 weeks maybe, before I actually have to fire this up and use it. Now probably what I'll do is between now and then I'll go ahead and fix that, and then I'll run several fires through there so that the little cabin up there kind of gets acclimated. The wood gets the wood to smell out and gets that smoke smell in there. Yeah, I think that it's really going to be nice to have this smoker when it comes time to harvest the hog, because it's been a long time since I've had some smoked meat. That was a shot of the cellular gain device that I actually had mounted on the house over there, but I finally got it moved up here to the tower, and I've got both lines run down there. I don't know, you can probably barely see them, but they run down there to right around the back door area. I went down underneath the house and then I came up, so everything is complete now. All of that is done like it's supposed to be, and it's working really good. There's also a hint of fall because there's a lot of leaves that are already turning. The dogwoods are kind of turning red. They've also got the red berries on them. The sycamore and the poplar trees, those leaves are turning brown and they're actually starting to fall, some of them. But they will actually get yellow and then they'll turn brown. And a few of the hardwoods are starting to turn just a little bit. But I've been finding lots of leaves on the ground, primarily the poplar leaves and the sycamore leaves. But yeah, you can tell in the background here that there is a hint of fall in the air because you're starting to see a little bit of color. Well, I guess you can see I got the church pew actually cut in two. I couldn't actually make both ends meet, so what I ended up doing, unless I would have did a 90-degree cut, which I could have probably done that, but I actually 45 where the bench would actually meet. I knew that I wasn't going to do anything in this corner. I may figure out some kind of plant and let that come up through there. But I still need to, like I said, I need to connect this corner, but this is going to provide a lot more seating up here. If we have any event where people come up here and play music, all I got to do is just pull the table out. I can record from the corner over there and they can actually sit here and play. As well, I probably need to go ahead at some point and make a little bit longer table up here, because I do have access for probably 1 or 2 more people to sit here. This would probably seat 4 very comfortably. I could have maybe 2 there, depending on the table, size table that I build. So that'd be 6, 7, 8, 9. There could be the capacity to seat 9 to 10 people right here. Really easy and still have enough room to cook. So I'm kind of glad that I went ahead and did this, although I've already had several people come up and say, oh man, I wish you hadn't done that, because it was really nice to come up here and sit on the front porch and just, you know, check out the view. So there's pros and cons about having it down there at the cabin, but I only had one, so I decided to go ahead and use it up here, and that way I could have a much larger seating arrangement for people when they come up and visit. Yeah, so that's the spot where the church pew used to sit, and so what I've done is I brought the dogs' beds outside. They have been sleeping outside now, I don't know, maybe most of the year. I actually had them sitting in front of the church pew when it was down here as well, but now I've got them pushed all the way back against the wall. But it did allow me a little bit of room to kind of straighten out some of the stuff that I had, because I actually have quite a bit of stuff up here on this porch. But at some point I'll probably get a couple more rocking chairs, or make some, or just make some chairs to sit out here, or maybe even a bench. That way when people come up we can sit out here and visit, because it is really nice to be able to sit here, especially when the leaves fall, and look at the mountain range over there, and all of the different colors, you know, while it's happening and things like that. But yeah, the porch, I think it really looks good now. Had a lot of comments that the porch really looks homey. Well, this is one of them old homey type houses, just like grandma's screen door, right? But anyway, that is what I wanted to show you. That's where the church pew used to go, right there, and now it's up there. Its new home is the outdoor kitchen. Well, I thought I'd take a few minutes and answer some questions. I actually had somebody write in. They wanted to know, how did I come up with the parameters? I'm thinking because it was related to the video where I was setting the little cardboard columns to pour the concrete in for the posts for the new timber frame workshop. And if you know anything about construction, you can remember the 3-4-5 rule. If you measure 3 feet in one direction and then measure 4 feet in the other direction, between those 2 points it should read 5 feet. That is an exact 90-degree angle. So like I said, 3 by 4, and between those 2 points is 5. If they're too close, you just spread it out to where the 2 points meet. Okay? If they're too far away, you just bring it in where those 2 points meet, and then you know you've got your angle exactly 90 degrees. And then of course that's how I laid the others out. But it you know, it takes a little bit of time, and I actually had to drive up some extra 2x4s where I could put in a screw to get me a point, because it'd be easy if I had 2 people up here, one could hold the other end of the tape, but I actually had to use a 2x4, so I had to drive that in the ground right up underneath the string so that I could actually come up with those points. But it is possible to do it by yourself and figure it out. Also had somebody else wanted to know, did they miss a video because they figured that I would go ahead and fire up the smokehouse. Well, it's not complete yet. Like I said, I got to put the door on there, and then I can actually build a fire in there once I connect the pipe to it and run a few fires through there. But no, you didn't miss any videos. The fact is that I got on other things like doing the stone back there, and then I started working on the timber frame because we've actually had some really nice days of weather. It hasn't been too hot, still sweat during the day, but it hasn't been too terribly hot. Had a lot of people write in about the tools that I've been redoing, where I actually posted a couple of those on the Outpost channel. But you know, it's funny because there's not too many people actually watch those videos, but the tools needed done anyway. So I went ahead and redid those, but I figured that I would give more people a chance on the Outpost channel to see it, because there's more people that actually view that channel. But people actually pick and choose what they want to watch, and that's just not one of the favorites that people like. But I do have the foot adds because I was going to need that. The sigh, I went ahead and fixed that because I actually had found that piece of dogwood, and I was excited about seeing if I could curve out such an S curve, you know, and get it to work and fit. But got that complete. I've still got a bunch of augers left that I've got to do, so they're going to be more DIY videos on hand tools and stuff like that. And then I've got to take all those up and get those sharpened for them to be able to be ready to use. But living up here, I get the opportunity to use a lot of that stuff, and it is actually really fun to use those old hand tools to be able to do what I'm doing up here. Even though I have all the power, you know, as far as battery operated, my son, he's set me up with that. But it's still fun to use those hand powered tools and on the different projects and the buildings that I'm doing. You know, it's really satisfying at the end of the day to sit back and know that you actually did all that really pretty much by hand. You didn't have any power. And yes, I have. The dog's checking out my finger. I did smash it earlier with that, with a rock back there. Was actually trying to break off the corner of it, and I just barely caught the end of it. You know, that's where it hurts so good, when you just barely catch the end. If I'd hit it flat, it probably wouldn't have hurt as much. I bet I hit it right on the end. So anyway, but you know, it will mend. It just makes it a little harder to do things when you've got a finger that's bummed up. But anyway, guys, you know, like I said, most of the comments that we've had been about tools and things of that nature, but everything is coming along slow but sure. We hope each and every one of you have a fantastic day. Guys, thanks so much for stopping by and hanging out with us up here behind the scenes to find out what's going on. We hope each and every one of you have a fantastic day. We look forward to seeing you back up here at the cabin again next time.